Jesus forgives and heals a paralytic.
Yay.
Hopefully for not being paralytic.
Mm. And this is Mark too. I don't want to give away what's going to happen. The book of
And
Mark.
again, so he's back,
Again, yeah.
entered Capernaum after some days, and it was heard that he was in the house.
Mm.
But this is after now people are after.
Yeah, because remember
I
he was
said that
in
last time.
Yeah, he was in Capernaum and then he went to all the other places. And now he's back, I think,
Because the
because
leper,
he held the leopard right and he was in the other synagogues all
and then
throughout.
the leper told everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really pushing that rhetoric, am I? So he's back and so he's in the house. Jesus is in the house.
Oh, maybe that's where it came from. See,
I
Jesus was so
could.
cool. He's in the house.
2,000 years before was a thing.
I know.
Immediately many gathered together, so that there was no longer room to receive them, not even near the door, and he preached the word to them. Then they came to him, bringing a paralytic who was carried by four men. Are you saying something?
Oh, I was just saying, full house.
A full house. Oh, the show as well.
Yes, he's in the house, full house too.
And it's a full house.
Yes, and everyone's coming to hear.
And this is where in the chosen, this is where they bring him in from the ceiling.
Yes, yes, that's going to happen in a minute.
Mm. And when they could not come near him because of the crowd, they uncovered the roof where he was. So when they had broken through, they let down the bed on which the paralytic was lying. Ooh, ooh.
Mhm.
When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven you." My, what lengths you have taken to get here.
Right. And it's true that the people that were carrying him had to have that faith. He said their faith as in plural, because
Took a team to get there.
there's one thing convincing for people to carry you to see Jesus. But now you're here and you can't get in. Now you have to get him up on the roof and uncover the roof and make a hole. You have to convince him for people to do that as well, unless they have the faith to do it, right?
And it's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
involved, but they did it.
And him too, right? So there's five people, right? There's him and the four people carrying.
Yeah, whose idea do you think it was? His name's like, come on, guys, come carry me to this
I
guy. You
know.
can heal me.
I know, because who had the biggest faith to say, come on, let's just do it? Oh,
I'm
where'd
trying
they
to
go?
walk
Oh,
today.
yeah.
And some of the scribes were sitting there and reasoning in their hearts. Why does this man speak blasphemies like this? Who can forgive sins but God alone? Oh, is this where it starts?
Mm-hmm.
But the scribes were there and they're like, because he can't forgive sins because he doesn't have authority in their minds.
Right. And they're saying, who can forgive but God, right? God, right. Exactly. Because
But
even when you would bring the sacrifice to the priest, it was a covering for sin, covering nearly like forgiveness, but not exactly like forgiveness, not as intense, I think. This is Sadell thinking.
that's good. Good to have thoughts. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, but it right because they do know, right? They're saying who can forgive but God alone. I mean, they don't know that He's God,
right.
so
Yeah,
for them
they don't
that's
know.
blasphemy. You know, that's like
Right. Even after healing a paralytic. But immediately when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they reasoned this within themselves, he said to them, so he said, Hey,
And this
thinky.
is their thoughts.
Hey,
Exactly.
thinky boys. What's going on over here? You got some thoughts that you'd like to share with the group? Why do you reason about these things in your hearts? Which is easier to say to the paralytic, your sins are forgiven you, or to say, arise, take up your bed and walk. But that you may know that the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins, he said to the paralytic. I say
Mhm.
to you, arise, take up your bed, and go to your house. Immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went out in the presence of them all, so that all were amazed and glorified God, saying, we never saw anything like this.
Mhm. Wow.
Whoa!
Exactly.
That'd be something.
Exactly. And in
Especially if you were like, holy cow, that's Ted. Ted hasn't walked in like 20 years.
right. So you would know the person. Right. That's true. And so now, is it also because they did see healings before, which is why they're all in the house because they know that he's powerful. But now, because he's forgiving sins, like is it taken up another level and the demonstration? I'm
I
just
think
taking,
right. Because that, well,
and it's
this,
probably pretty power. I mean, it would be powerful to see it too.
listen, if it had stopped right here, we could explain this away, right? There's more to come. And so it's like, yeah, they didn't know, but he's adding a level.
Oh, they didn't know who he is yet.
Yeah, I mean, they had
Truly,
one
right.
instance, which was the leper, and that was their introduction, and then he's healing a
And
paralytic.
they had right, they had the well, they had if you remember the last time there was someone like a demon, wasn't there? In Capernaum, yeah,
Oh
in
yeah, but that wasn't
verse
public.
1. And then there was healing of various diseases in verse 34
Oh,
as that demons. So they did see some stuff.
the public thing?
I think so. The whole city on the in verse in chapter 1, verse 33 and 34.
Right.
This is before he went away. Then he went to the other places and then he came back
I
again.
guess it is.
So they had some little history, but maybe not that lesson of the sin. I'm not sure. But I think that no matter how many times you'd see it, I would think that it would still be
I
powerful.
don't think that these people would have known about that.
Okay. Now what about oh, I wanted to say on 10, verse 10, it says, now that you may know that the Son of Man has power. And in my subnote for power, it says authority. Has authority on earth to forgive sin. Or power, but like the same, but it kind of gives more meaning to that word, maybe.
It's the ability to back up your words is usually
Yes.
power.
Yes. And he did it. Wow. So that's a wonderful, peaceful thought, isn't it?
It is a very peaceful thought. Hmm.
Hmm.